No, I mean my balls.
Suck my balls. Suck my balls. Suck my balls. Suck my balls.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Suck my balls.
welcome back. That's right, welcome back to another
Suck my balls.
of SMB, a South Park Review. We're visiting all of the episodes of the past and eventually the present, as we are recording here on a lovely Sunday. We get ready to deliver to you some South Park reviews. Of course, I'm your host in the heat. I can't be beat. I mean, guy who's high. Where that air it seems to be quite so dry. Yeah, boy. M.S. to the G. You can follow us as a podcast by going to linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. That's right. Now you're dealing with the smooth
operator on the smooth low ride.
That's right, baby. That's right. Don't you forget it. And of course, I am not alone. This man likes to be a man of all mans. He's the man who's got a plan. He's that S to the C to that double OB. The top.
Tug button.
That's good. Welcome back, Scoop. Scoop. All right.
Tug button.
Also, of course, shout out to our boys that aren't here once again this week. It's just me and you. 15-1, 15-2, MSG, and Scoobity-Doop-Doo.
Go.
Shout out to the man who likes to bring the pain of the digital marketing game. The guy who likes to solicit those pics to get your clicks. He's a writer. He's a producer. He's a director, on-screen character, Dane Becker. Shout out to him. And of course, the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. The Trivia God, Joe Vernolo. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, each and every week, we review South Park in order for you. But before we get started, we got a brand new submission here. As far as sending us in some fan interaction, this comes from on Instagram from Leia. She says, "Hey there, love the podcast so much. I just started at the beginning last year, and I'm not quite caught up to recently, but I listen every single day at work and can't go a day without it. On my Spotify Wrapped, it told me I listened to the podcast for like 80 hours or something. Insane.
Hey.
But just wanted to let you know, women do listen. Thanks, guys." So thanks, Leia_B, for saying what's up. Women listen to the podcast, Scoop. That's pretty cool.
80 hours in. We should find out what episode she's on.
I mean, well, she says 80 hours, so she's got to be at least into SMB 80 to 85 if she just started last year, right? I mean, or even now into the early year. If she's listening every day, we'll guesstimate. Leia's probably right around, 100 or 100 hours, and maybe she's just crossing that SMB 100 threshold. Maybe she's gotten to our 111, episode. Who knows? Who knows? Well, ladies and gentlemen.
That's sick.
I know, right? If you want to send in your podcast submission request, send it in to smb@suckmyballspod@gmail.com or just shoot us a direct message on the X at suckmyballspods with an S or at SouthParkPodcast on the gram. Of course, this is SMB number 214. It is FunnyBot. It is the second episode of season 15 and the 211th overall episode of South Park. Non sequitur, as it originally aired on May 4th, 2011. So here's how Where were you? This is how this one starts and breaks down. Jimmy hosts the Special Ed Department's first annual Comedy Awards. Now, admittedly, at the time, I can't say if it's happened since, there really isn't a comedy awards, every year, right? There's the Grammys, there's the Oscars, the Emmys, there's the Tonys. There's not really a big comedy award. Now, they have roasts, Def Jam festivals, blah, 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 but there's no comedy award. Normally, comedy gets, included with those Emmys and Oscars, but there's no specific for like the stand-up comedian of the year or the best monologue, the best joke. There aren't really, shows, at least from what I know. If you, maybe we'll find out later in the trivia, or maybe you know as the listener, but if you know, let us know. Scoop, do you know? I mean, are you aware? You're not aware at all.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is like a best stand-up award, maybe.
Yeah. Where is that, though, coming from?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I don't know. Well, this is how this one starts. In the hallway at South Park Elementary, Jimmy Vollmer hands out flyers looking for votes announcing the special ed department will be hosting its first annual comedy award show. They advise him it's a bad idea, that being the rest of the boys, but he is convinced that it will be a success. Now, the reason why I guess they think it's going to be a bad idea is because, of course, when you're, comedy is subjective. So if you're maybe making awards and saying this person's funnier than the others, that could create some backlash. And that's all about what this episode is about, because at the ceremony, which bores most of the audience, Jimmy announces awards for himself and many others who did not show up to accept them. So Jimmy Ballmer accepted on his behalf. And unfortunately, he hands out the most unfunny award to the Germans. And of course, the Kathy Griffin Award is given to the most likely celebrity to actually show up to accept their award. So there you go, is how it breaks down. Just to start this episode off.
Here you go. Here you go. Don't forget to vote, everyone. Here you go, fellas. Be sure to get these handed in tomorrow. What's this? Every student needs to go home and vote on their favorite choice in each category. Favorite comedy actor, favorite comedy movie, and then on Friday during lunch and recess, we're going to have a big, fantastic comedy award show. Fellas, do you have any idea how difficult comedy is? Can't we just spend one lunch and recess saying things to those who make us laugh and laugh? Yeah, look, I don't think I can make it, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't make it.
Attention students. There will be a presentation by the special ed department.
So yes, so Mr. Mackey here, he comes over to the intercom because the boys were like, yeah, I don't think we have time to go to your thing. Sorry, it's not a good idea. And then Mr. Mackey's going to pop up on the intercom now.
The gymnasium Friday during lunch and recess, okay? Attendance to the assembly is mandatory.
Attendance to the assembly is mandatory.
All students and faculty are required to go. Which I guess means I gotta suck it too, huh? All
right, so here's the special ed department presents the first annual comedy award.
It's probably one of my favorite parts about this.
Can I get a what? We're here today to honor those who tirelessly work so hard to make us laugh. The first comedy award we are presenting is for the funniest kid in school. And the nominees are...
In school.
Clyde Donovan. Kelly P. Gardner. Jimmy Ballmer.
Oh, wow, this is so exciting, isn't it? And the winner is...
Me.
Oh, my gosh, Jimmy Ballmer. I can't believe I won.
Can we go now?
Damn it.
Thanks, everyone, for this incredible...
And then now the boys are like, okay, can we go now? Is this thing over? Because they're like, okay, you won an award. Can we get out of here?
Can we go now? No, we still have over 50 awards to hand out.
Oh, shit.
So 50 awards later. Here we go. Here's Jimmy.
President Obama.
President Obama won one? President Obama?
Is President Obama here?
Yep.
Nope. I guess we'll just accept this award on his behalf.
This goes on and on.
Wow, what a terrific audience. Isn't this great? Can I get a... What?
There's a whole stack of trophies there.
For the least funny people in the world.
Okay, here we go. Least funny people are...
The Germans.
The Germans.
The Japanese.
The Japanese.
The Yupik Eskimos of the Chukchi Peninsula.
The Yupik Eskimos.
And the winner is... The Germans.
The Germans.
I guess unfortunately the Germans could not be with us tonight. So I will accept this award on their behalf.
Yeah.
Now, do you think it's accepting the award on their behalf? Or them getting the award?
It's them getting the award, right? It's them getting the award that's going to make the Germans mad. And of course, as we mentioned, this wraps up now with Kathy Griffin actually showing up.
The Kathy Griffin Award will be given each year to the person who is most likely to actually show up to receive their Kathy Griffin Award. And the winner is... Tyler Perry.
Oh, Tyler Perry showed up.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Tyler. Oh, man, I want to thank you all for this amazing award. Or as Medea would say, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Tolkien laughs.
Oh, God, how embarrassing.
Good afternoon. Hello. I'd also...
Hello.
Thanks, Tyler Perry.
Thanks, Tyler Perry.
So yes,
Damn.
as you heard and saw there, whether you're watching the podcast or the video version, all those clips broke down. Now, so what's going to happen is the news reaches the Germans the next day that they are irate, right? Hosting a press conference disputing this attack, saying the children expressed concern about the children then expressed concern about the Germans' reaction, and of course, Tyler Perry continues to hang out at the school. Jimmy continues to insist the awards. Jimmy continues to insist the awards were successful. However, the Germans then arrive at South Park Elementary and take the students and faculty hostage in the gymnasium. To show the students that the Germans are funny, the Germans unveil a robot called FunnyBot. And the students actually find the robot comedian amusing, though Jimmy worries it will take the humanity out of comedy. Skip.
Aren't we already there almost? ChatGPT.
That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. I forget about that. All right, I don't want to glance over this here. Jimmy here is he's at dinner eating with his dad, and he's trying to have a conversation with him, and his dad's not really paying attention. But like toward the end of our conversation, he's like, "Come on, Dad, can I get a what?" His dad's like, "What?" He's like, "Thanks, Dad."
The only people that showed up were me and Tyler Perry.
Uh-huh.
I really feel like I did all that work for nothing. People still think comedy is nothing but a big joke. I mean, come on. Dad, I'm really feeling sad and let down right now, and I feel like I can't even get a response from you. Could I, at the very least, please just get a
What?
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. So now Mom screams, "Jimmy,
Talking about your comedy awards on the national news. The national news? Oh my gosh, people do care.
Oh my
A
God.
school in Colorado Germans, the least funny people in the world. The first annual comedy awards were held by the school children yesterday, and all of Germany is outraged.
this guy." He's all like snarly, like, yeah. Germany is a country of proud people.
Deutschland.
We will not take this insult sitting down. The comedy award voters have brought shame upon us, the world. The comedy award voters are wrong. I want to assure the world that we Germans are very, very, very funny. We do the joking in our workplaces and in our homes. I will now tell you a German joke. Okay, this is pretty funny. This joke is so dumb that it actually is kind of funny. A sausage maker buys a box of cereal. I will now tell another joke. That's like an Irish guy walks out of a bar, right?
Right?
Here's the next joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? A cannibal. What? You are about to die and be eaten. Asshole, I will murder you first. That's the joke. Okay, so now the Germans are going to show up, as I mentioned, at South Park Elementary with, of course, the rest of the boys pissed at Jimmy now.
The first annual comedy awards was a big success. A big success? You can't even get Tyler Perry to go back home.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Is it true? The Germans want to hear us? Yeah, thanks to Jimmy. Now don't worry, everybody. I'm sure that Germany can take a joke just like the rest of it. It's the Germans!
They show up with guns.
They got guns.
They got guns, dog. They show up with guns.
Jimmy!
Why did they give that lady that voice? It's really deep voice. Okay, so here comes FunnyBot. Or actually, this is funny. First, Cartman tries to sell Kyle.
Special education. Sie mag uns wählen.
Kyle knows German. Do it.
Geboten.
What?
Er ist
It's Jim.
ein schöner Saftig. Er ist fies. In Hinterhis.
The savage of Cartman's notion.
Trying to fuck it off. Trying to get rid of Kyle. So they of course protest, shut up, whatever they're saying, and then here comes FunnyBot.
No!
Everyone's afraid at first.
Are you behind it?
Comes out with a laser looking thing, and you're like, oh crap. And now FunnyBot shows up to deliver.
Looks like a Dalek from Doctor Who. Kind of. A little bit.
It pretty much took out the whole trailer park.
Yeah! Now what you say, man? Yeah!
Now what do you say, man?
Why doesn't a chicken wear pants? Because its pecker is on its head. When the Pillsbury Doughboy bends over. Donuts. Don't you just hate doing homework? Yeah. Me too. Man, I hate homework. Honestly, I hate having to do homework. More than I hate having to do Ryan Humble in his asshole. Awkward.
Okay, so yeah, as you heard there, FunnyBot, man, he's a hit, and it's of course like AI style, right? Because like in the middle of his jokes, don't you just hate doing homework? I just hate doing homework. So like I'm guessing the FunnyBot, obviously state of the art, scans the audience, right, and then can create jokes. That is kind of scary if you think about what is South Park predicting comedy right here. Are they predicting their own demise? Right? Because we've already got ChatGPT, and you can get ChatGPT to make crappy scripts right now. So, I mean, with advancements in artificial...
We've done it. We've got them to get us a crappy script.
We've done it. And then we've just, tweaked ourselves a little bit, hey, no, that doesn't work, or do this, or whatever. But you can fine-tune it up to give you, scripts if you need to, and then you just, say your own words or whatever. But, man, if this FunnyBot was real, who knows what type of comedy that could Kevin Hart even, sustain? Or is comedy, as Jimmy mentions, the humanity of it, right? The delivery, the reaction from the comedian as well, the relatability as a human, because obviously a robot itself doesn't participate in said actions.
Yeah, I don't think it would be real hard. It would have to be like a superhuman robot.
Oh, so like a clone maybe?
Maybe.
So with the new Cyborg, yeah, some Will Smith crap. So FunnyBot takes the comedy world by storm, becoming ubiquitous in all kinds of media. This distresses a number of human comedians such as Jay Leno and Adam Sandler, who fear for their livelihoods. The comedians then decide to storm out South Park Elementary, demanding that the students stop FunnyBot. The boys, with the addition of Jimmy, decide to take up the task, but it is complicated by FunnyBot's increasingly sinister behavior. As we'll find out, during a stand-up performance, FunnyBot suddenly deploys 2 rotary cannons from his body and kills nearly 1,000 people in the audience before shouting, "Awkward."
Awkward.
Awkward. Awkward.
And said Germans were no longer the least funny people in the world. All thanks to the new groundbreaking German comedian, FunnyBot. It was after being voted the least funny people.
They show this montage of German engineering here. Real life footage.
Perfect timing to within .00.
This car. They're making a car.
Since then, FunnyBot has seen a meteoric rise to stardom, selling out stand-up theaters all over the world.
All right, so here's FunnyBot stand up.
Murder becomes funny. I love it.
I am FunnyBot.
I am FunnyBot.
Don't you hate how Mexicans always complain about turtles in their vaginas? I am FunnyBot.
Because it makes all sorts of sense.
I've never once heard that. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, I heard it all the time, man. Mexicans hate turtles in their vaginas.
Okay, now it's assessing the audience.
You, sir,
Where are you from?
Long Island!
Does everyone in Long Island have hair that looks like pussy? You dipshit.
You dipshit.
That's not even the comedy. That's just insults. And everybody's laughing and clapping except for this guy. He's so upset. He's like, what?
FunnyBot has exploded onto the silver screen, too.
Everybody from Long Island.
Oh, that's
has hair
right.
That looks like pussy.
That-
You
yeah, you.
dipshit.
That's right. Okay, before oh, check this out. The Jonas Brothers in this in this background, baby. You got Kevin, Joe, I Love Nick, and then over here to the right side of the screen, if you're watching this YouTube, it's also like a poster of the Jonas Brothers, the 3D concert experience that was from that episode we reviewed. So that's the reference there. The Jonas Brothers, Nick, girls, Jonas Dingle, huh? Of course, as Dean, as Joe talked about before, as Dean referenced before, we're talking, of course, about the original Steamboat Willie. We're not referencing the Mickey Mouse. Please don't come after us. And I love you, Disney. So here we go.
Hey, what are you doing with my daughter?
FunnyBot in a movie.
Awkward!
And this dude shows off his range by playing every role in Family FunBot.
This is a parody of The Nutty Professor when Eddie Murphy played all the characters. Now they've got FunnyBot playing all the characters in Family, whatever it was.
Is the Nutty Professor?
Yeah.
Don't you call
Was it the Clumps? No, I thought it was The Nutty Professor, wasn't it?
Oh, it's getting hot up in
I
here.
don't remember.
FunnyBot, is there a line you won't cross?
The line is a non sequitur. The line is an imaginary invention of imperfect biological life forms. I am FunnyBot.
I am FunnyBot.
Dad, could you say that in the other ear?
Yeah, The Nutty Professor. It's because at the movie scene or the dinner scene, like at Thanksgiving and all that.
Oh, right.
He plays all the
Hercules,
characters. Yeah, he
Hercules.
plays all the characters. I just wanted to make sure before we sound like idiots. So as we mentioned there, following this now, the celebrities are going to storm in and they're going to demand that the children, as we mentioned, right, take over, help them out. And then from there, FunnyBot kills 1,000 people. So let's jump back into that clip.
Glad the Germans are back in Germany and nobody's pissed off at us anymore.
And now the celebrities.
Low hanging fruit comedy. I love it.
Yes. What the fuck have you done to us?
Oh, wow, Adam Sandler.
Everyone into the school gymnasium.
No!
Aw, dude, don't make us go back
Into the gymnasium now!
Now they go back into the gymnasium. As I mentioned, the boys are going to take up the task to help them. Here's FunnyBot killing all the people.
What is up with Sandra Bullock? I wouldn't eat her dick with Stevie Wonder's vagina.
Stevie Wonder's vagina.
Pulls out some
Get out for my next joke.
just straight up kills him.
Doesn't look like they're laughing now, but it does later. It doesn't make sense.
This is breaking news from CNN. Shock and disbelief tonight as the German-engineered FunnyBot delivered his opening lines at the Hollywood Bowl.
You brought a good point to this because what's going to happen is people are going to like react to it like it is funny here on this news report.
Then opened fire on the audience of 1,100, killing nearly all of them. Spectators say the violent attack was unmotivated, irrational, and also pretty goddamn funny.
Stupid.
Solidifying the opinion once again that FunnyBot may be the greatest comedian of all time. Tom, you should have seen the looks on people's faces.
They're all happy because they're dying there. Look at the pauses. Look, they're all like smiles and stuff, and this lady on the gurney. That's our background this week for YouTube.
Nice, I love it.
Vagina-obsessed Hispanics to Sandra
From
Bullock.
vagina-obsessed Hispanics.
Shooting people in their faces and in their chests. The blood went flying and oh shit, it was funny.
Oh shit, it was funny.
Nurse, is everything okay? Well, yeah, it's okay, but Jay Leno's really losing it.
Now, fuckers, let's just kill him, Sandler. Let's just kill them all right fucking now. Tell your friends they better get it done.
Mr. Sandler says you better get it done. And Token says to hurry because he's running out of money.
You know when a man be cheating, he never know what to say.
So Tolkien keeps giving Tyler Perry money, so that's why Tyler Perry is sticking around, because this is how Tyler Perry makes his money, apparently. So that's the joke there.
But a woman? Them things think quick!
Keeps giving him dollars.
Somebody get Tyler Perry to shut up!
Please, sir, you're gonna kill our friends.
All right, but make it quick.
They get backstage
Very busy in there coming up with new material.
for FunnyBot. All right, so backstage now at FunnyBot. FunnyBot basically divulges to the boys that he's going to kill everyone. That's his ultimate joke. His ultimate joke is to take out everyone because obviously, defense mainframes of both Russia and the United States and everybody, if everybody dies, that's the big joke because that's the big lead up awkward, right? So he connects to the defense mainframes of Russia and the United States, arming the nuclear missiles of both countries. Barack Obama comes on TV and announces the pending destruction, admitting that he will watch a Tyler Perry movie with his family. The boys are unable to disconnect FunnyBot due to a defensive field surrounding him. However, Kyle remembers that robots can be fused by a logical paradox. So Jimmy gives FunnyBot a comedy award and asks him how can there be a comedy award show? Because if one accepts an award for being funny, it means they are taking themselves and comedy seriously, which is not funny. The paradox confounds FunnyBot, forcing him to disable his defenses so the boys can disconnect him. Let's go there.
This is not a good joke. There won't be anyone around to laugh.
I am taking comedy to its logical conclusion. Mathematical equation of comedy used to be set up, punchline. Today's comedy is set up, punchline, then awkward. Nothing is more awkward than destroying all that which created FunnyBot.
But don't you see, this is why comedy is for humans. You need to leave the jokes to people like me and Adam Sandler.
I wouldn't let Adam Sandler suck my saggy tits for $1 million worth of Oprah's tampons.
Stupid.
Holy shit. Oprah's tampons.
So after everything's mainframe, Barack Obama comes on TV, FunnyBot now announces to the world.
4 minutes. I am FunnyBot.
I've just been briefed.
Fucking
The
funny,
end of
bot.
our country is imminent.
He's actually kind of funny.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm going to spend my final minutes on this earth with my loved ones watching a Tyler Perry movie. I know it's embarrassing, but I simply can't help myself.
I can't have that.
Stop it now! No use, guys.
Harvey
We got
can't
some
touch him?
defense mechanism. We got to get it away from that control panel. Does anybody have any
Kick
ideas?
Zep's fat little
That's for
ass.
Jimmy because he clearly
So as we mentioned, Jimmy has to come up with the idea because it's all his fault.
scissors all tripped out. Paradox. Oh my god, that's it. Fellas, get me a Kindle and some scotch tape.
A Kindle and some scotch tape.
And actually, we think what you're doing is genius.
FunnyBot is simply pushing the limits of comedy.
Yes, you certainly are. And for doing that, we have all decided to give you a comedy award.
It's all like gold.
For what purpose is Comedy Award?
It's a validation of all your effort, an acknowledgement of all you do in the pursuit of humor.
Non sequitur, there is no logic in Comedy Award. Unable to process. Comedy Award is what is the meaning? If I accept, it means I take comedy seriously. If I take comedy seriously, I am not comedian. Non sequitur.
If I take comedy seriously, I'm not a comedian.
It's working! Explain Comedy Award! Unable to process! Awkward!
I wonder if that's true. I wonder if that's what would happen. Is if you took comedy seriously, you're not a comedian. You're like Michael Myers or something.
In this scene here, the boys now are rushing a giant crate, and it looks like they're going to bury FunnyBot based on the previous scene of him, obviously like having a malfunction. But what we end up seeing is they bury someone else, Goop. They
bury someone else, everybody.
They buried Tyler Perry.
Hello.
As this giant ball of mechanical engineering is dropped into this hole. All these different deep buried hole. All these different layers of metal. Now they're filling it up with concrete.
Well, that does it. Things can finally get back to normal.
Yeah, I'm sure glad that's over with.
Thank you, boys, for teaching me
So
that comedy
FunnyBot
and
shows
logic do not go together.
No problem, FunnyBot.
I understand now that comedy should be left to the imperfect biological beings.
I can't believe it's finally over.
Tyler Perry now.
Oh, nerd. Somebody
Lord.
what's going on? Hello.
Didn't Tyler Perry pass away?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
Very famous production guy still making bank. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the full recap. We'll be right back now on the other side with your trivia, pop culture, and more. We'll be right back. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apples, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed. You'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, brought to you by Spreaker. You can check that out if you have the Spreaker app. Use the Spreaker app. We make a little bit more on the ad revenue. Otherwise, continue to download the podcast on all podcast outlets. Watch it right here on YouTube by hitting that like and subscribe button. Visit Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod if you'd like to just get a view of all of our landing pages. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is not the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion, but Scoop, serving up some trivia today.
Do the best I can. There is a drawing of what appears to be Osama bin Laden on the wall in FunnyBot's office. Osama was killed by the United States Navy SEALs 2 days before this episode aired. Nice. This is the second time Wendy Testaberger is seen without her pink beret since Chef Goes Nanners.
Nice.
Kenny is nearly killed by Jay Leno. Jay Leno killed Katie by accident with a stone statue in Jay Leno short. During the moment in the awards show when everyone groans about having to sit through 50 awards, in the front row on the left there is a clear Bebe clone, simply with her hair colored orange-brown. The normal Bebe is located near the lower middle of the bleachers in front of Annie Knit's clone. The Annie Knit's copy is located merely 2 kids away on the right section in the bleachers.
So some copy paste in there, right? Just different hair colors just to make more kids in the classroom.
In the creator's commentary for the episode, Trey Parker and Matt Stone mentioned that the idea of FunnyBot had been floating around for about 5 years prior to the episode. They also mentioned that the original concept for the episode would have involved Jimmy Valmer being invited to Japan for a stand-up comedy festival before the Japanese reveal a skyscraper-sized version of FunnyBot that eventually destroys Tokyo. It would have also included a competition similar to the one used in the martial arts film Enter the Dragon. They also mentioned that the final version of the episode was inspired by the Star Trek The Original Series episode The Changeling. Inspiration also came from Matt and Trey being invited to the Comedy Central Comedy Awards show, which they didn't want to attend, and how they spent their time discussing how much they hated the idea of a comedy awards show.
There you go. That's our answer, right? Because we were asking, is there a award show? Well, there is. There's the Comedy Central Comedy Awards. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your trivia. And now it's time for some pop culture. Let's break this down. FunnyBot's appearance and mannerisms are based on various television and film robots, such as Nomad from Star Trek, the original series. The episode itself, The Changeling. FunnyBot's body is based on Daleks from BBC series Doctor Who, which you pointed out, and the trademark phrase, exterminate. FunnyBot says awkward, which is the same drawn-out way the gay robot in the sex offender episode of Nick Swarton's Pretend Time. FunnyBot's date Spike, with which he assesses the nuclear arsenal mainframe, is based on R2-D2's from the Star Wars film. Basically, the device that pops out of his body to, start playing with the mainframe. FunnyBot's plot to destroy humanity is similar to The Judgment Day by Skynet from the Terminator franchise. His audience assessment, as I mentioned, analyzing the audience, is similar to that design of the heads-up display used by Terminators as well. Couple more things here. FunnyBot portrays an entire family of robots in Family FunnyBot. As I mentioned, that was similar to the Nutty Professor. Tolkien and Barack Obama can't help laughing at Tyler Perry's character, Medea. This is a reference to the fact that Tyler Perry movies are quite popular among the African American audience, but quite unpopular among other demographics. On the walls of the CBS studio, many parody posters can be seen, including 1.5 Men, a reference to actor Charlie Sheen being fired from the show in March of 2011. Hawaii 911, a mashup of the television series Hawaii Five-0 and Reno 911, and Survivor's Somalia, a parody of Survivor. Of course, also that's a continuity reference to Somalian Pirates Week. FunnyBot also's head resembles Comedy Central's old logo. I didn't notice that.
Oh, shit.
We mentioned, of course, Barack Obama, his speech at the end regarding Barack Obama's speech concerning Tyler Perry is based on his speech regarding the death of Osama bin Laden, which had occurred just days previously. Both culminate with the sentence, "Justice has been done." In the then recent poll, July of 2011, Germany was actually voted the least funny country. Murdering or slaying an audience is how business slang, of course, for successfully entertaining an audience. To FunnyBot, it was literal. All right, and there's a bunch of comedians. I'm just going to list them all out. Here we go. Adam Sandler, Bill Maher, Brandon T. Jackson, Conan O'Brien, Dane Cook, David Letterman, David Spade, Ellen DeGeneres, Jay Leno, Jimmy Kimmel, Kevin James, Louis C.K., Rob Schneider, Russell Brand, and Zach Galifianakis, all the ones that stormed South Park Elementary. Last two things. In this film featuring FunnyBot having sex with two girls, there are, as I mentioned, posters of the Jonas Brothers, and there was also a character that looked like Eugene Levy, which would have been parodied of American Pie. And the last thing here, the boys mentioned the FunnyBot appeared on Saturday Night Live and Nurse Jackie. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your pop culture. All right, last couple things here. We've got some continuity. This is the third.
Oh shit, we have some continuity here.
That's right. This is the third time Timmy is in a band. The first being Timmy 2000, and the second time being Crippled Summer. Many of the special education students from Crippled Summer are seen in his band as well, and of course in the audience because it is the Special Ed first ever annual comedy awards.
Timmy.
This is the second episode. This is the second episode with Butters as the, quote, talker in a terrorist situation. The first being Imagination Land, episode 2. Hey guys, can you get me out of here? Cartman speaks the German language for the second time, the first being The Passion of the Jew. Here is his complete conversation with German translation. He said, "What are you doing? Go back with the others. Listen, this whole thing is a mistake. How a mistake? We don't care about the comedy award thing. It was the children of special education. They made us choose." Then they say, "Will you finally move?" And then he says, "This child, may I offer him to you? He is a Jew, huh? A handsome, soft Jew. He's fresh, a beautiful, beautiful Jew." And then they say, "Go back with the others or you'll die," to Cartman. So that was the the German conversation, I'm sorry. The Catcher in the Rye, the book that was given to the fourth graders in the tale of Squirty McBoogerballs, is seen in Kyle Brofkowski's locker. And finally, when the celebrities rush to the school, Cartman says, "Oh wow, it's Adam Sandler." Of course, as I mentioned, in Osimo, Cartman pitched 800 movie ideas starring Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your continuity. That's your trivia. That's your pop culture scoop. What did you like about this episode?
I like how it's kind of almost predicting the future in some kind of way. Like we're kind of leaning towards. It feels like everything's getting AI generated, where it's going to be some sort of funny bot telling jokes, or some kind of movie bot, or some kind of city bot taking control of our body bots. There's also a lot of good,
any highlights?
Good things, forgettable one-liners in this. I mean, they're good forgettable one-liners, if that makes sense. Like, this episode isn't great. It's not horrible. It's funny, but it's also pretty forgettable at the same time. You know, why are the Mexicans always getting so mad when them turtles in their vaginas?
I would agree. I would have to say the funny thing we've taken away, because we always reference it, is the right? Him playing the music.
Yeah. I should have said that's probably like my favorite part.
That's probably one of the highlights. FunnyBot itself, while there are some quote-unquote jokes that may be considered funny, as we've talked about before on and off the air, comedy is subjective. So not everybody that's watching this episode, like us too, is going to find everything funny. You mentioned it's kind of forgettable. I would say this is in my lower 200 of the top episodes, right? Like, it's not going to be in my top 100, top 150. It's probably going to be 200 something. Because it's a funny episode. Definitely. It's not bad per se, but it's definitely not one that's memorable. Like, it's a Jimmy episode, which I'm not saying is bad, but as we've seen, other than like the Jimmy Timmy episodes, whenever you just have kind of solo Jimmy stuff, it can kind of fall a little flat if it's not done correctly. And, just kind of like the episode of where Tally goes to rehab and they have the Lake Titicaca episode part of it. Like, we all agreed when we were watching that, we were like, the camp stuff is kind of bleh, right? So, like,
kind of bleh.
Yeah, it's kind of bleh. So, like, unless it's Jimmy Timmy where they're doing something specifically, whether that being the Crips and the Bloods or them working out for the Special Olympics, whatever it is, when you get the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour team up, it's funny. But when you add in everything else or just do kind of a solo Jimmy thing, it's not even the best. Like, even that one episode where he's trying to get a hooker, right? Because he's got an erection. Even that one's not necessarily the funniest episode. The funny highlights of that one are at the end with the fight scene. And he has sex with a lady and he beats up the pimp or whatever. But, even then, it's not necessarily a full-on funny Jimmy episode. So I would agree. The highlights are definitely more the boys here, Cartman and the boys getting pissed at the fact that, Germany is going to bomb them and take over. The comedians showing up and you've seen all of your comedians in South Park where technically they didn't get made fun of. So if you were a comedian watching this, that's kind of cool, right? Especially
right, it's kind of cool. Or not cool because, you like to be dogged on by South Park. That means they like you.
But I mean, either way, like you can look back at this, like say even if you're Dane Cook, like you can look back and be like, hey, here's my character, my avatar in South Park, and they didn't really make fun of me. I was just a background character of a comedian, right? So nice. That's it's kind of cool. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll
do it.
That's gonna do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. You're gonna go hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching right here on linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. Go to our podcast landing page. Check it out. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you know. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
as is tradition,
that is gonna do it for another edition for SMB, a South Park review. As is tradition, that's right, because as is tradition, next week coming up is Royal Pudding. We might have to reach out to our buddy Joe Morin because we're going back north to the border to Canada, Scoop. What happens when the prince and the princess of Canada can't complete their marriage? Bad stuff's happening in the world of Canada. Ike's going to be upset. He's got to open his box. Meanwhile, the boys are trying to complete the production by Mr. Mackey in Tooth Decay. It's coming up next week on another edition of SMB, a South Park Review.